Welcome to lesson 13, showing the BO validation example. Here we're going to show how we do some custom validation, and let's jump straight into the code. We've actually seen this example before a little bit. Let's expand this and have a look. Here what we do, let's have a look at the inputs and the outputs. Let's look at the basically the interface. The interface which the algorithm spot here provides for us. Okay, so it's the algorithm spot here. If I go to that, tells me the interface tells me the inputs that I get. And in this case, we actually have all setters, which basically means that we have all inputs. And we are getting as inputs the business object, the action is taking place, the instance key, the ID of the BO, the MO, if there's a change between the BO instance and the new and the old, so you can do a comparison. So in our invoke, what we are going to do is get the ID, and from the ID we get the entity. And basically we're going to be doing 4 different checks. The first one is check edit user ID, and that one is saying that if the status is not equal to pending, and in the case when the name, the username is different, someone's been updating the username outside pending state, then there's an error, because you can only update the user ID in the pending state. So that's the validation you have over there. So that is the first validation that we have, and it would correspond to, just again to show you where things are, this business object has algorithms, and it's this BO validation algorithm that we're referring to, that the code that we're looking at. And the point is that I can take any type of BO that I have in the system over here. So we take an existing one, and I try to edit it, and I give it a different user ID. It comes out, says cannot be updated, can only be updated in the pending state, and that's the validation that I have over here. After that, we see the check old new days, and we've seen that one before. If the new days are greater than the old days, then we have an error. We also have some required fields, and required fields is just saying that the new days, old days have to be there, otherwise it will error. So if I actually, for example, take the profile out and put this back, it says display profile is missing, and that's corresponding to the check required field showing the display profile is missing. There is also a final check which you will see. It's related to check the name validation, and that we'll look at later because that uses a new plugin spot, and we're going to deal with that in a different time. So anyway, that is an example of the validation algorithm that we have in the system that we created. If I actually just look, and again we made a comparison between the config tools, it's just a summary also to show the interface from the Java and the inputs that we have. We have action, business object, key, entity ID, the MO, new and old BO instance. And that corresponds, as you see from the config tools, what you have in your hard inputs.